Hello, Nemesis Chevelle. Alright, I'm sorry I missed a couple steps with you guys. Take you through really quick. Alright, so I think I last left off at primer. I was getting ready to wet sand the primer. Alright, so I had a incident with the car which happened. The color I originally picked I didn't like, so I went ahead and I primed the car. I wet sanded it down with 400. Start applying my paint. I did a little color sample. I did do a little small color sample, and I noticed that it was a little bit darker than I like. But I assumed that hopefully I was gonna get it to lay down within like 2 coats and make the coats uniform, so I don't have to layer it up too much. Nevertheless, it didn't work, and I layered it up, and it was like supposed to have been like a light candy blue, and it turned into like a dark cobalt candy blue, which is a beautiful color, but it's not my thing. It's a color that looks really good in the sunlight, but when it's in shade or it gets dark, it looks more purple or blurple or whatever you want to call it, and it's just not my thing. So I had to resand the whole car down because I already got the candy is almost like clear coat. So I had to resand the whole thing down, and when I had to rush and do this a whole week, so I just went ahead and resanded it down, picked another color, got that color, shot it out, sanded the car down, went and got new paint, went ahead and painted it, put like 4 coats or 5 coats of the paint. Then I turned around and put like 6 coats of clear on top of that. You know, I'm doing it out here in this rugged environment. We all know. You got Titan walking around, searching the property, making sure nothing's going down. And so, like I was saying, the main thing is you're gonna have between your coats, doing it out here in an environment like this, you're gonna want the very first coat of paint is the most important coat, right? That's the coat you want to make sure that you, not the first coat. Let me take that back. All your coats of paint are most important, but the first one is very important, and the last one is your most important. If you get something on the paint, which I got plenty of things on the paint, not from the dirt, believe it or not, the dirt didn't get into the paint. You know, I don't kick the dirt up. I'm pretty good with that. I didn't get any dirt. The main problem you have is bugs, little small insects. So I didn't close it in. I was gonna do it, but I didn't want because it's hot. But I got a couple bugs in it. I didn't get no dirt, no dust, none of the rest of the stuff that you would think out here in this environment would get in there. He just did this. He just dug this all up. He don't know when to quit, but I didn't get any dirt or anything into it. Only thing I got was a couple bug spots where bugs got in it. And as long as you can get your base coat down, and if you get something in the base coat, all you need to do is wait, let it tack up, it dry up, that layer. If you're on the second layer, I got something in on the second layer. I stop, let it tack up, lightly got the thing out, try to sand it with your hand first or the tack rag. If not, then use some 200 or something just to get it out. And then don't sand, you don't want to cut through the paint. You just want to do the bare minimum just to get whatever it is out. Then when you come back with your second, your third, your last or final, whatever coat you are, you hit that area and make sure you put a good liberal coat on it, and you won't have no issues. Then when you get to your clear coat, the most important part of your clear coat is the first coat, right? Your first coat is the most important part for the clear. You got to remember that. You want to get your light coat on, and then you want to get your second coat on, and you won't let that flash. You want to try to make sure nothing gets in it when it's flashing. After it's flashed, and you're going to your third and fourth and however many coats you're going to do, as long as you're waiting your flash time, if you get something in there, it's not that big of a deal, because you know that whatever that is going to be 2 coats before you actually get to the paint, when you have to color sand or wet sand it out. Now, no matter what, you're going to end up wet sanding the car. The better guns and tools you use, the less orange peel you have, the less wet sanding you have to do, yada yada blah blah blah. Me, I put like 6 coats of clear coat on this thing. I layered it up heavy because I'm gonna do a lot of sanding. I know it's gonna be a lot of sanding because I got a couple little spots in it, but those things that I got in it were after the second coat of clear. And you know, I just dust them off and just keep on moving. Let my flash time go, and I just keep on going. Now I come back and it's time to wet sand. So you can see, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's some orange peel still in there. You know, you try to go with, depending on how, now this right here got rough with my clear coat. After like the 6 or 7 coat, it was heavy orange peel. Not 7, I think I did 6 coats. So after the 5th coat, it was heavy orange peel. First 2 coats was not too bad. 3rd coat was not so bad. The rest of that, I don't know what I was not paying attention with the gun or what, but I started getting heavy orange peel and I was just layering it on. And I go heavy. It was a run here. I done sanded it out now, but I go heavy. And I got like 3-4 coats in and I didn't see any runs. And I said, well, I need to put some more on here because I don't see any runs. That means either I'm doing a perfect job or I'm a tad light. And I'd rather be really heavy because you're going to wet sand it regardless. So don't be afraid to make it run. Now, you don't want to see runs everywhere. You're doing a bad job if you got runs everywhere. But if you get a run here or there, especially around things like this, you know, the mirrors or tight little spots. I didn't get any runs around the door handles, but anything like that is, you know, it's hard to try to not to get runs around those areas, but you got to put it on heavy. You want it on heavy. And you're going to get runs maybe like me. I went like 6 coats. So if you don't wait, between a couple of those coats, I didn't wait enough 15 minutes or whatever for the flash time. It should be a little bit longer per flash, depending on how many coats you put on. If you're doing 3 coats, you could probably wait 15 minutes, let it flash, and be no problem. If you're doing like 6 coats, then you probably should go, when you get to like coat 3, you should turn that 15 into a 20-minute wait to give it more time to kick, you know, and then you continue with a 20-minute flash time between coats. That's just mine. I'm not a professional painter. Obviously, I don't do this every day. I painted the boat, I painted the car, I painted Chevelle, I painted Corvettes, I painted, I don't know, 10 or 20 cars. But I know how to do this for my personal taste. I know I'm gonna wet sand this out. I know I'm gonna get this and make it shine and make it look beautiful. I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it in this environment because I know what I'm doing to what I like. I'm not mass production. I'm not bringing in a bunch of cars trying to do this. No. I'm doing what I have with the budget that I want to spend on this particular beast. I don't want to spend a ton of money on just the paint job. I want to put the money right under that right there, that hood. So right now what we're doing is wet sanding it down really quick. So I already hit the whole car. Like the what I do is the spots that are like heavy orange peel or like runs, which I only have like 5 or 6 runs. I think there's one, there's like a sag right here. I hit those spots with 800 just to knock them down really quick. With a flat, something flat, only on the runs. You want something real flat and hard. Knock that run out, and then you want to just hit the whole area where if there's heavy orange peel with 800 just to get it knocked down somewhat. Then you turn around and come back with 1000, and I hit all the orange peel with the 1000, knock it all down. Then 1500, then 200, 2000, 2500, finally 3000. And after 3000, it should already have like a little shine, and I should see what it looks like. After I hit it with the 3000, I go get 5000 with the DA. 3000 and 5000 is on the DA. I usually do 15. I'm gonna do 1500 on the DA too, but I'm gonna do it by hand and on the DA. When you're using a sander, you only want to do like these big flat areas. You know, the doors you could probably hit a little bit, the hood, the trunk, and then everything else you're gonna have to do by hand. All these little curves and things, you're not gonna be able to use anything. Even the block, you can get some small blocks and everything, but some guys say don't use your hand. You're gonna have no choice but to use your hand on all this grill and everything. I'm just using my hand. There's no way I'm gonna be wasting more time trying to freaking get the block, not to cut a corner and all that stuff. No, just use your hand, you'll be fine. Here, same thing. I can use the DA on here. Right now I'm doing it with my hand because I'm getting all the runs out that I can see. Hitting the orange peel with the 800. I don't use the 800 on anything besides my hand because you only want to just knock down the high spots. Then you're gonna come back with the 1000. You could be a little bit more carefree with the 1000, and 1500 you can be more carefree and everything else. When I get to actually using the DA or a sander, I'm gonna tape my edges back up. First thing I do after I get it all painted, because it's been sitting with the tape on, is I take the car. As soon as the clear coat is dry somewhat, I go ahead and pull all the tape. And then you pull the tape and you can get your edges. See where, if you have any like edges that were wrong that needs to be corrected, or like right here, some spot where the actual tape had got distorted at some point in time, and paint, and I had to clean that off. That type of stuff. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go through, finish wet setting this bad boy through the stages: 800, 1000, 15, 2000, 2500, 3000, and then finally 5000. Then I'm gonna get to cut and buffing. I'll cut you guys back on when I'm